In the emergency room, they pull out these industrial scissors that cut through anything, right? And they started on the left foot and they finished on the right. And they cut all the way up and they cut all the way down and they pull all your clothes off at the same time. And Pikachu! They released the Pokemon! And man, it was cold. So they take away all my clothes and they replace them with this nasty lime green hospital gown, the kind where they tie it in the back and your butt is showing, you know? So I see my reflection in the mirror and I realize at that moment that I do not look like a comedian. Oh no, with all that green on, I look like goddamn Shrek. And it wasn't me who gave me the nickname, it was the nurses. I could hear them too. Mira, Marta, the gordito, he looks like Shrek. He does, all he needs are the antennas and the donkey, that's it. So they wheel me into my own room, right? I'm laying down, I'm holding my stomach. And the doctor comes in, and I don't know what it is about doctors, but they're just always happy to see you, right?
Ah, Mr. Iglesias, how are you?
I can't fart. No, Mr. Iglesias, don't worry, we'll take care of everything. Just do me a favor, roll over on your side. I'll be right back. So he goes over to the wall and he gets these little gloves. And he comes, don't get ahead of me. He puts them on, right? And he comes over and he puts his hand on my side and he goes, does that hurt? Does that hurt? And then this doctor turned into a magician. Oh, yes, he did. Because his hand disappeared. And it reappeared somewhere way back here. And I'm not going to tell you guys what he did, but you know what he did. Pokemon. And then he's got the nerve to tell me, Mr. Iglesias, I found a problem. You seem to be suffering internally. You have a blockage in your system. And the whole time I'm thinking, oh, you're the one blocking it, dude. Pull it out! So he says, Mr. Iglesias, we're going to need to flush out your system. I'm like, okay, cool, flush me out. Give me some, soda and some crackers. Let's do it, right? No, Mr. Iglesias, we have a special way of flushing you out, right? So he rings the call button for the nurse. Ding! And the nurse comes in. Oh, it's a Shrek. And she walks in, right? And she's got this little bag with like a little hose hanging out of it, right? And I see this hose and I'm thinking, ooh, you better be watering a plant. And I'm not gonna tell you guys what she did with the hose, but you know what she did with the hose. She made me a pinchy water balloon. And when they say they're gonna flush you out, they're not lying. The second they do this to you, guess when you gotta go? Right then and there. And they don't do it when it's all convenient, when you're over here in the facilities and you're sitting down and you're like, okay, do it, let it rip, dale gas, let's go. They do it when you're laying down 18 feet away in a bed, laying down, and then they do this to you, and anything you have in here goes from here back there like that, man. And it hits you. I have a bus driver named Dave who has never received any credit, and he's been working for me for almost 10 years now. This man has successfully gotten me to every single comedy show on time without fail. The way people used to. He does not have time to mince words. He just calls it like he sees it. Before me, he used to work with a man by the name of Kenny G. Grammy Award winner, amazing music. One day, Kenny G was on his tour bus that Dave was driving, and I guess the two of them had a little discussion, and Kenny G used some words that Dave would have rather him not have used, and instead of getting into it with him, this is what Dave does. Kicked Kenny G off of his own bus. Because he would rather lose his job than lose his self-respect. And that's the man I work with. He's a bad dude. You guys are clapping, but you should have seen the interview. Oh man, it was a good one. He looks at me and he says, hey, let's get one thing straight. I don't give a who you are. You treat me right, I'll treat you right. You pay me on time, you'll live. Not to mention the fact that he keeps that tour bus squeaky clean. And he takes a lot of pride in that as well. One night, I was drinking on the bus, and I go to put my cup down, and I missed the table, and the cup hit the floor. I didn't get up right away to get the cup because I figured I'm gonna get up in a couple minutes and make myself another drink. I'll pick up the cup then. Dave sees the cup on the floor, and then he looks at me and says, "Hey, I ain't your mama. Pick that shit up." I get to the back of the bus, and I'm like, wait a minute, I pay him. "Hey, Dave, shut up. Yeah, I'll be in the back in my room. Thank you. Drive safe." And people tell me, you work with a man who talks that way to you? Why? Let me tell you why. Because he's honest. He loves you. And if not, you're on the curb with Kenny G. That being said, I have a story to share. Named Dave, who has never received any credit. And he's been working for me for almost 10 years now. This man has successfully gotten me to every single comedy show on time without fail. People used to. He does not have time to mince words. He just calls it like he sees it. Before me, he used to work with a man by the name of Kenny G. Grammy Award winner, amazing, amazing music. One day, Kenny G was on his tour bus that Dave was driving, and I guess the two of them had a little discussion, and Kenny G used some words that Dave would have rather him not have used, and instead of getting into it with him, this is what Dave does. Kicked Kenny G off of his own bus. Because he would rather lose his job than lose his self-respect. And that's the man I work with. He's a bad dude. You guys are clapping, but you should have seen the interview. Oh man, it was a good one. He looks at me and he says, "Hey, let's get one thing straight. I don't give a shit who you are. You treat me right, I'll treat you right. You pay me on time, you'll live." Not to mention the fact that he keeps that tour bus squeaky clean. And he takes a lot of pride in that as well. One night, I was drinking on the bus, and I go to put my cup down, and I missed the table, and the cup hit the floor. I didn't get up right away to get the cup because I figured I'm gonna get up in a couple minutes and make myself another drink. I'll pick up the cup then. Dave sees the cup on the floor, and then he looks at me and says, "Hey, I ain't your mama. Pick that shit up." I get to the back of the bus, and I'm like, wait a minute, I pay him. "Hey, Dave, shut up. Yeah, I'll be in the back in my room. Thank you. Drive safe." And people tell me, you work with a man who talks that way to you? Why? Let me tell you why. Because he likes you, he loves you. And if not, you're on the curb with Kenny G. I know some of you in the front are looking at me right now like, well, how big were you? I know. Hercules. Yeah. Anyways, you guys, let me tell you what happened. Basically, I found out I was a little sick. I was diagnosed about 2 years ago, type 2 diabetic. Now, I maxed out at 445 pounds. Yeah, that's way past fluffy, okay? Let's be honest, that's not even, damn! 445 pounds, that's borderline Discovery Channel fat. That was like, I couldn't leave the house, you know?
He wants to go to the movies.
It was really bad, you guys, and so I was waking up every morning with a 300 plus sugar level. Now, anyone who knows anything about diabetes, that is super high. And you do that enough times and eventually, clear.
It's so hard to say goodbye. They buried him in frosting. It was the sweetest funeral ever. Everyone got a cupcake. It was so nice.
I'm at the doctor's office, you guys, and the doctor tells me, he says, listen, Gabriel, you're 445 pounds, your weight is out of control, your diabetes is out of control, you're 35 years old, you will not live another 2 years. I guarantee it. And I got very emotional, you know. I was like, are you serious? He goes, 2 years tops. And I was like, but I just started making money. Well, it's gonna be a nice funeral. I was like, what an ass. So it took a lot for me to finally start doing something about it, you know, because it's not like this is the first time I try to lose weight. This has been happening for a long time, but somebody tells you you're gonna die, you actually wake up. So what it took the support of my friends, my family, and, you know, especially, I gotta give credit where credit is due. Martin, you guys, helped me out so much because he's always encouraging me to go to the gym. Let's go work out, bro. Let's go do something. And more importantly than let's go work out is, you know, we're on the road together 46 weeks out of the year, so we eat together a lot, and he's always watching what I eat. And if he sees me reaching for something I shouldn't mess with, he checks me, especially breakfast. That's my favorite meal. I love breakfast. And they always put us at these nice hotels where they give us this continental breakfast with the buffet, and, you know, if I'm eating eggs and bacon and sausage, that's fine. Yes, some of it's fattening, but guess what? No sugar. If Martin sees me reaching for muffins or waffles, he makes a scene. He waits for me to get about 15 feet away, and he starts yelling in front of all the people at the restaurant. Oh yeah, he's still ghetto. I don't care if it's a Ritz-Carlton. Guess what? Machete's here. He starts yelling. He waits for me to get 15 feet away, and then he starts. Really, bro? You're gonna put that in your mouth, Fluffy? You know what that's gonna do to your body? Hey, have some self-respect. And he makes me cry at breakfast. I'm sad. I'm like, I don't want the muffin. I don't want it. I don't want the muffin. I'm not a little whore. I'm not a little whore. But see, that is a real friend who would check me and remind me, hey, bro, get mad at me all you want. I just want you to live. And I gotta respect that. That's why I love that dude, you know? And in turn, sometimes I gotta check Martin. Yeah. Believe me, you guys, it goes both ways. Sometimes I have to check him, not about his weight, but he has his demons too. You know, oh, believe that. Yes, sometimes there's limited space at the hotels where we're staying at. So sometimes we gotta double up on a room. And every now and then Martino brings some random girl to the room at 3 o'clock in the morning, wakes me up. I gotta look at him and say, one time I was trying to check in a...
A lot of. That I yelled at Plank. I go. This dude took off. To travel.
See, up to this point, we have agreed on how we raise our son. But in this situation, she's trying to protect him from the world. I'm trying to prepare him for the world. If he cannot handle me raising my voice to get his attention, to see the bigger picture, he's not ready for a world that doesn't care about his feelings. So I say, you know what? I gotta have a one-on-one with him. I gotta have a one-on-one without... So I take him out to the movies. We get in the car, we take off. Little 20-minute drive, okay? As we're driving, I figure I'll have a little one-on-one with him. Maybe this way it doesn't feel like a talk. I thought he understood what I was trying to say. It's late, we're leaving the movies, we're pulling out of the parking structure, and out of the corner of my eye, I see a cop car. And I made a sound, I was like, ugh. And Frankie goes, what is it, Dad? I said, there's a cop at the light. What are you worried about? He's gonna stop us. How do you know? Watch. I made that left turn. Frankie's losing it. It's happening! I said, relax. I pull over. Cop pulls up from behind. Immediately. Driver, windows down. Driver, hands out the window.
Serious?
Both of them. I can't, I'm fat! He gets to the window and he's got the flashlight and he shines the light right in my face. He's like, license? Yeah. Here. He takes the license and then of course, do you know why I stopped you? Officer, no I don't, but I'm sure you're about to tell me. You don't have a front plate on your car. I said, officer, you're absolutely right. I do not have a front plate on my car, but my name is actually on the front of the car. Excuse me, my name is on the front of the car. I own a 2012 Ford Flex, and the Ford Flex has the actual word flex written on the hood. I have a friend who does custom automotive work, and he took all the letters off the car except for the letter F, and he made letters so that it spells fluffy on the hood. Okay? Yeah, it sounds impressive. You can do it too for like $23. It's not that bad. They're like refrigerator magnets. You can even move them. Like one day a letter flew off and it said Foofy. Look at me, que pendejo. I know, stupid, right? So the officer walks around to the front of the car and he takes his flashlight and he shines the light right on the hood. And he does this, he goes, I knew it! And my son goes, what does that mean? I said, that means we get to go. Oh, Houston, for the first time in a long time, my son was actually impressed by something that I did. You gotta figure, this is not impressive to my son because he grew up in this environment. Okay, you saw that, right? I saw like that's like the third one I've seen. It's like stuff keeps, people upstairs from Tombow, keep talking. All right, I'll tell you guys what happened. Shakira performed here a few days ago, and Shakira has an amazing show, okay? She doesn't just come out and I think I just hurt myself. But there's a part of her show where all of a sudden it goes, and there's cannons with confetti that shoot everywhere, right? And I think that was leftover Shakira. Yeah. Can we edit out the part where I burned 800 calories? Oh my God. So where was I? Oh, this does nothing for my son. And the reason why I say that is because he grew up in this environment. He's been to 1,000 shows. He's seen me on TV 1,000,000 times. It's not a big deal. But the fact that I got stopped by a cop and the cop recognized me and geeked out and let us go, I earned street cred with my kid. Yeah, Frankie was like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I'm like, hell yeah, cuz, that's right. You better recognize, player. We get home, he woke up his mom.